But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh,
we're
don't
not
speak over me.
incarceration.
Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
All right, everyone. Today we're watching a no-nonsense judge go toe-to-toe with a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who clearly thinks she's cracked the code. She walked in clutching a tiny slip of paper with a typical script, acting like she was about to drop some earth-shattering legal arguments and stroll right back out without consequences. She seemed convinced this was all some kind of game, but the courtroom isn't exactly the place for that. This hearing gets tense fast, and it's definitely one you won't want to miss. Let me know in the comments what you think about her strategy, and let's jump in to see how this intense showdown unfolds.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. You know?
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself? Or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you? Or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel to effective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
No, this is definitely not going well. She's honestly just digging herself deeper, and you can feel the secondhand embarrassment through the screen. Meanwhile, the judge's composure is something to watch. Calm, patient. Just letting her talk herself in circles until the script runs dry. It's almost unbelievable how confident some people are when they walk in thinking they've discovered some hidden legal loophole. But the courts have made it clear time and time again. Simply saying, "I don't consent," doesn't make charges vanish. That's not how jurisdiction works, no matter how many times it's repeated off a piece of paper. What really gets me is trying to understand how she ended up here. She seems polite, even respectful, calling the judge Your Honor, but it's obvious she's completely out of her depth and clinging to talking points that just aren't landing. It's tough to watch because she doesn't come across as malicious, just seriously misinformed. I'm genuinely curious what you all think. How does someone fall this far down that rabbit hole? Reading about these ideas is one thing. Actually standing in court and trying to argue them is another level entirely. Let's get back into it, because this hearing is far from over.
So here's the thing, Miss Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration- Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Miss
involved-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointment.
Go back.
Agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Duty is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. But don't click away yet. This story isn't finished. She actually shows up again for another hearing. And don't worry, I've got that footage too. At this point, though, the judge honestly deserves some kind of patience award. Dealing with arguments like this has to feel like debating a brick wall, except the brick wall is convinced it has a law degree. Still, the judge stays composed, trying to sort through the confusion without completely losing her cool. She has a little edge in her tone, sure, but considering the circumstances, she's handling it pretty professionally. I'm curious what you all think about her approach so far. Do you think she's striking the right balance? All right, let's move on to the next hearing and see whether things calm down or get even more intense. Let's jump in.
Perfect. So, Miss Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
Confidential. And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I know we've been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
I'm not even kidding. I called that line before she said it. At this point, I feel like I can predict the script word for word. Covering these cases every day really makes you realize how repetitive the arguments are. It's frustrating, honestly, because while some of these people may be genuinely confused or misinformed, the impact is real. Courtrooms and law enforcement agencies already run on limited time and resources, and when hearings get sidetracked by arguments that have been rejected over and over again, it slows everything down for everyone else. That's a serious issue. One thing I did notice, she didn't even bring out the little script she had in the first clip. Maybe she memorized it, or maybe she's trying a slightly different approach this time. Either way, if she actually decides to represent herself in a case this serious, she could be facing something like 8 to 10 years. That's no small risk. Let's jump back in and see whether she really plans to defend herself, because if she does, this could take a very serious turn.
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I haven't did anything wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case.
I do not want Mr. Jeffries on my case.
I don't care what you want at this point.
I want to represent myself.
You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff.
It's not on my case.
Go back with the bailiff.
It's not on my case.
Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury.
Right, I would
And
assume.
we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
Honestly, I give this judge a solid 10 out of 10. Tell me if you disagree. But from where I'm sitting, she went above and beyond to make sure this was handled fairly before finally removing her from a courtroom. The level of patience on display was seriously impressive. I probably would have tapped out within 10 minutes, but she stayed composed and professional the entire time. At the same time, it's a little sad to watch situations like this unfold. The judge genuinely tried to give her multiple chances to clarify her position and explain herself, but we all knew where it was ultimately heading. And to anyone who feels like they lost a few brain cells watching that exchange, I get it. These arguments can be tough to sit through. There's something almost surreal about watching someone struggle to respond directly to straightforward questions, especially in such a high-stakes setting. It's uncomfortable, a little cringy, but somehow still fascinating to witness in real time. I'd love to hear what you all think about how the judge handled this hearing. Do you think she struck the right balance? If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be posting daily content, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching and take care, everyone.